What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I am back. Now, I hope that you guys didn't miss me too much. Hey, I thought you guys missed me. Yo, chill. Alright, let's all calm down. Alright, let me explain. As some of you guys may know, I was busy with life, doing some personal stuff, but I was also practicing for a gaming tournament. It was going to be the same for this week, but I ended up turning it down just because I ended up loving it just to hate it. That was pretty much what I did. I was practicing a lot for that tournament. And then honestly, I'm glad that I turned this one down because not only did not want to go, but also because I miss making videos and putting it out for you guys to watch and enjoy. Alright, so now that you guys know what I've been up to lately, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. We are now reaching our 54th major update for the global side of Langrisser. It will feature one of the most anticipated characters to date, and that is Grenshiel. You guys may have seen her a lot on the CN side of Langrisser. You guys may have heard of people talk about her, and now she is finally here, alongside the other character, Joa&Conny. These two pairs are just a pure strong attacker with a small unique gimmick. But moving past them, Grenshiel is going to be very strong in terms of the meta, just because of how flexible her gameplay is. So to better understand her, let's go ahead and take a look at what she can do. She is part of the Origin, Princess, and Strategy faction. For her talent, when she battles enemies with movement less than hers, her attack and defense increases. Then after taking action, if she is in the danger zone, she gains a buff called Protection of Frost, where she'll be immune to all debuffs, gain a command where enemies within one block of her have their movement reduced by 2, that lasts for 1 turn, and gain a shield that covers a certain amount of her HP. Then once the shield is gone, you'll have to wait a few turns before it can occur again. Activating these is pretty much the same as Rio, where they get their special buffs once they are in the danger zone. Her talent is not bad. It essentially allows her to be really tanky with nothing to worry about. And I'm fairly certain that once she loses her shield, she'll lose all those benefits, and she will get those back pretty quick. For her bonds, she will need Adon Kelmo for her toughness bond and Azusa for her strength bond. She has a 1C skill which has a 4-turn cooldown that allows her to place a special terrain within 3 blocks of her on an empty tile. It increases allies' defense and magic defense by 10% and reduces the enemy's mobility by 2 if they are within 1 block of it for 1 turn. After placing it, she can move 3 blocks to attack, and buffs on her do not lose their turn duration. Her 2C is an AoE that attacks 2 blocks around her. It lowers the enemy's mobility by 2 for 2 turns, but if the enemy already has their mobility reduced, then they won't be able to act, which has a 20% chance. Afterwards, she gains block for 2 turns. Then her 3C has a passive where after she takes action, or any strategy characters kills an enemy, Grenshiel will be able to faction buff for the strategy faction, which has a special buff effect where you'll deal 15% more damage if the enemy's mobility is lower than yours. This skill will have a 5-turn cooldown that attacks a single enemy that dispels 3 buffs before battle. And if the enemy's movement type isn't considered flying, then she will attack first. After battle, if the enemy survives, they won't be able to move or guard, and she gets a buff that lets her take 20% less damage for 1 turn that cannot be dispelled. With this, we can expect a rise towards the strategy faction. A few things to know about this woman is that she is incredibly physically tanky, thanks to having that defense boost as well as having that shield. She's a very strong single target attacker, and with that shield, she can probably most likely survive attacks from, like, let's say Lucretia's 3C, or even the Ironblood Commander's 3C as well. Also, both of her classes has the movement considered to be flying, and I believe her base movement is 4. Her main thing is about crippling opponents like tanks. Besides using her 2C, she's going to be relying on her talent command effect, which you'll have to be close with, so you'll most likely rely on her 1C to do that, since she can place it anywhere within its range, but only on an empty tile. Then afterwards, she can assassinate someone out. And she can do well on her own, since her survivability is pretty good. Her 2C is very easy to counter the debuff, but by using her command effect from her talent and her tile, she can actually straight up prevent the opponents to not be able to act. But the chance of that happening is very low, which is probably why you don't see it a whole lot. Even then, she has 2 other amazing skills that she can use, like Air Slash to attack from 2 blocks, and Frontal Assault to increase her defense even more while dishing out lots of damage. Then moving on to her 3C, buffing some known characters like McLean and Lostam, who are very common in PvP, while also making this a very powerful single target skill as well. And I think we can all agree that being able to attack first is pretty OP. I'm just gonna say this right now, if you're new, Grenshiel can be worth the pull for, because right then, you'll have yourself a pretty strong character that you'll be using for a long while. Plus she is part of the Origin faction, one of the easiest team that you can put together with some good characters that you can start off with. I feel like Grenshiel is one of the few characters that technically doesn't need her 3C right away in order to do good. It just allows her to perform even better, unless we're talking about PvP. The next one we got is Joa& being the dude and Conny being the little girl. They're part of the Empire, Strategy, and Reincarnation faction. Conny's talent increases her attack and crit rate, and at the start of the battle, she will summon an image of Joa&, that copies a certain percent of Conny's stats. The talent is alright, that crit rate increase is definitely really nice, and Joa&, is actually pretty dependable. He actually has his own talent and skills. For the bonds, they will need Emperor Lobuna for the toughness bond and Girl in the Shell for their strength bond. First, we're gonna check out what Joa&, can do. His talent lets him ignore enemies' obstruction and have the Terrain Master ability. When he initiates battle, he will take 80% less damage, and when Conny dies, he too will die himself, which is pretty sad to think about. His first skill has a 3-turn cooldown that heals him to full and cannot be targeted when using this. Afterwards, he can apply 3 debuffs to enemies that are within 2 blocks of him for 2 turns. His second skill has a 2-turn cooldown that reaches 4 blocks long, which will reduce the enemy's mobility by 2 and cannot guard for 2 turns. His third skill is a passive, whereas if both Conny and Joa&, attacks an enemy within 3 blocks, I'm not sure if it's Conny and Joa&, that has to be within 3 blocks of each other, or if it's the enemy. Either way, they will deal fixed damage after battle. Nothing too crazy about him, but that first skill that he has is going to be useful for reasons I'll get into in a moment. Conny's first unique skill is a 1C that has a 2-turn cooldown. That just gives them both reinforcement and increase their crit rate by 20%, all for 2 turns. Her 2C has a 2-turn cooldown that attacks from 4 blocks long, but only in a straight line, that inflicts silence for 2 turns, and ranged soldiers will also attack with her. And finally, her 3C skill, which has a 4-turn cooldown, it's an AoE that reaches 5 blocks long that reduces the enemy's range by 1 for 1 turn, while dispelling 2 buffs. If Joa&, is within range of this 3C, he can actually extend the range even more. He will be able to extend it by 3 blocks wide and 5 blocks long. Now, this is the reason why you want to keep Joa&, alive. That huge range is scary. That can apply a unique debuff that really isn't common to see. But the only thing that really sucks about this though is that Conny's 3C has to reach Joa&, in order to have that kind of range. Which, yeah, it sucks, but that range is very rewarding for how fairly easy you can pull this off. Conny's game style, she can either be a full-on AoE attacker, or be both a AoE and single target attacker. By the way, she really only has one real good single target skill option, which is her unique one. She can also use the roundabout skill as well, so that'll be really huge on her. Nonetheless, they're pretty good. If Conny had like more range built into her talent, I would say that would make her even better. The other thing that I will say though is that I kind of wish that they did a little bit more with these two, like how they did with the 3C. I'm pretty sure I said this before, but I felt like it was a missed opportunity, but I'm not really gonna trip over it. We should be getting 2 new soldiers. One of them is a archer that ignores 15% of the enemy's defense when they or if the enemy is on a defensive terrain. The other one is a Flier. When battling enemies with lower mobility than them, their attack will increase. And if the hero is a Flier class, when attacking, they take less damage. The soldier is really good. You should almost always be able to get that attack bonus, and it would be even better if the character you're using is a Flier class, which is what you should mostly be doing if you're going to be using these guys. The archer one can be alright. In certain maps with lots of terrain, I would say that these guys can be an option to use. For the new exclusive equipment, we got a helmet for Werner. It gives 10% defense, and at the start of the map, he starts with the strike stance. And while in that, if he does not move before attacking, then after battle, he still gets to keep his strike stance. The other exclusive is a helmet for Azusa. It gives 5% increase to her HP and defense, and in global terms, her twin elemental protection, if it's in effect, her skill damage will increase, and is able to revive As long as she has the twin elemental protection, both hard and soft, she will consume them in order to revive with half of her HP, which can only occur one time every battle. Sheesh. These two will be a huge game changer. Werner's will allow him to start attacking right away at his best, so there's really no need to wait one turn in order for him to set up, which is very nice. Azusa will be a hassle, but it is very rewarding. I would highly recommend picking these up if you guys use them, especially Azusa. The new casting skills that we'll be getting, the first one we got is for Lambda. It increases her int and her 3C towel effect will last an extra turn. Second is for Vargas, his defense will increase and after he revives from his talent, his damage don't increases for one turn that cannot be dispelled. Third one is for Clarett that increases her attack the more that she moves to a max of 12% and will take less damage up to a max of 20%. Fourth and final one is for Lanford. Allies within his talent command range increases their crit damage and heals 20% of damage dealt as HP. This is by far one of the best casting skills besides Landius in my opinion. Clarett will be pretty nice to have, although I'm not sure if anyone still uses her nowadays. The other two are whatever, but can still be nice to unlock for that extra stat increase. For Vargas, instead of the damage dealt increase, I wish it was damage reduced. That's the only thing I would really say about it. No new banners unfortunately, besides the wishlist banner that features characters from Langrisser 1, 2, and 3. Again, we can always expect this every month. As for new content, finally! We should be getting a new type of system that makes upgrading characters classes much more convenient. I am so glad that they implemented this, cause it was honestly pretty annoying having to do it slowly each time. But with this, we can upgrade them instantly. Also, R and SR energy materials can be purchased from the guild shop. Gonna be really helpful for some people barely getting through the training ground. More content we can expect are the Forbidden Battleground where we can get Lewin and Norm SP stones, the Tower Defense game mode, which I don't really like, as well as the Magic Tower Auto Arena that should appear 2 weeks after the update. Some new skins that we'll be getting is the Echo of Light for Grenshiel and Joa&Conny. Grenshiel design looking really cool, looking really nice. Mama? Huh? What?
You weird, buddy. You're weird.
Anyways, let's just ignore that. Agreed? Cool. For the Macholado, it's a Christmas themed skin for Michelle that has some of the other Macholado skins that you can choose. We can also expect some rerun skins as well. The only reason why I don't say exactly what they are is simply because sometimes it can be different for global. The global side likes to do their own thing. And with that being said, that should be about everything, if not most of everything that the global side of Langrisser will be getting in this update. I know I'm really far behind on some of the things that I plan to do, like that poly video I said I would make. I have a feeling that some of you guys are waiting to see what equips that you should be running with her and what her gameplay is like in depth. So yeah, I'm back from my little break. Y'all can start expecting videos now to be quite consistent, like every 2 days or so. I like try to upload between 2 to 4 days. I don't have any plans on going on break anytime soon, but who knows? Who knows when my next one could be? It could be a month from now, in a few weeks, a few days, couple months. Anyways though, feel free to let me know down in the comments what you guys are excited for in this update. Is it the new character, new content, the exclusive equipment? Oh, and I might actually plan on doing a summoning video. Yeah, videos this month might be pretty crazy. But if you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And yeah, thanks for watching. Your fellow Z.